Hello, it's another Wednesday and thanks for joining us for AM Business. Today is the last day of the 3-week ultimatum issued by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister for illegal miners to vacate the operational areas across the country. The Galamsey operators therefore have up to the end of today to end the operations or face a crackdown from government. Today on AM Business, we explore more on the fight against the menace.
Today, we explore the national debate on illegal mining, also known as Galamsey. So far, government has instituted measures to completely ban illegal mining across the country, except for those who engage in small-scale artisanal mining only if they stick to the rules and regulations of the game. But in the midst of this ban, there's been concerns, as various key stakeholders do say that the various people or persons who are engaged in illegal mining could be kicked out of their jobs. Well, the Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, Tony Orban, says there should be some sense of a cushioning up for such victims, especially when the situation of unemployment in Ghana is on the high side. Statistics indicate that about 200 operators have so far evacuated the mining site they have been illegally occupying. This includes both investors and workers on the sites. So what next after the ultimatum, which expires today? The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewo, explains.
Multilateral mining integration project, which is going to follow after the, taking these guys out of their areas of operation. So that is a 5-year period that would integrate all these guys that still want to come back into the business, into the formal, well-regulated control manner. So that's going to be a 5-year project, so which is the MMIP.
Okay, so
yeah, but even before the MMIP takes off, we are cleaning off all the system, as quickly as possible. The system needs to be clean before the implementation of the MMI.
Now, so if we're expecting any change, it should be within 5 years. Is that what you're saying?
If we're expecting a very drastic change where the full integrations will be done in accordance with the multilateral mining integration project, we've given ourselves a 5-year period because we need to procure certain equipment, central processing plant, a lot more money to be invested from government to do explorations, and identify prospective areas. Acquisitions of drones and tracking of devices are all elements of the MMIP, and this cannot be done, today. So, but we're going to start some of the processes, and make sure that we, unfold the rest as we go along. We're going to review part of the mining law, not necessary to review, though, because the mining law gives the ministerial discretion for classification, reclassification. So that gives me the mandate to introduce what we call the mid-high, which is the medium-scale mining, and that is where most of these activities are going to fall under. Yeah. Okay. So we may not necessarily have to review the law because the law says that we have the right to reclassify mining, and so we can do a reclassification: small-scale mining, large-scale mining, and medium-scale mining.
The Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, Dr. Tony Orban, has been shedding more light on the 5-year program, admitting enforcement of the laws has been a major challenge over the years.
The situation requires comprehensive integrated approach. That's why the minister announced the multilateral mining integrated project. This project is comprehensive. So one of it is the ban on licenses, a moratorium on licenses. The rest will be the enforcement, use of the enforcement system to stop the bleeding, to stop what is going on. The other is also to propose alternative livelihoods for those who want to do things other than mining. And then also we have the use of the technology, the employment of technology. And then the review of policies, application of new categorization system for it to work. So it is not a one-size-fits-all approach now. We are not just going to use force alone. I think one of the problems we had in the past was that when we tried this, we didn't engage the public enough. So the public sympathy was not as hard as we have now. We have good public sympathy. Two, we did not have other programs attached to it, or we did not announce those programs at that time. I mean, we have a leadership, we have a minister now who is himself going out and talking about all these things. So I think the sheer integrated and comprehensive nature of it gives some hope that this is the time. For us as regulators, we are enjoined to provide the rules of the game, to make sure that people are able to do the work according to certain rules. So for those who come to us and get our authorization, we must regulate to know that they are doing what our...
Do you do it?
That we do it. That's why we have...
But you're saying you are having challenges. Is it a matter of personnel or what?
No. The challenge is for those who will not come to us, who will not come to us for the license and will go and do it elsewhere, including doing it in river bodies. That one, we cannot do anything. Our commission cannot go to areas that we haven't granted and start arresting them. We don't even have the power to arrest. What we do is to inform the law enforcement agencies. We inform the district security committee, district security committee to act. That's our limit. So the challenge is that this is our limit. When we see people doing illegal mining, when any Ghanaian sees people doing illegal mining, they should report that. Now, after reporting, what happens? This is what our challenge is, because sometimes we do report. In fact, many times, every fortnight, every 2 weeks, we send letters to areas where we suspect, where our staff at the district suspect that illegal mining is going on. We write, we describe. Sometimes we go to the extent of counting the number of people involved in that. All we can do as a commission is to inform the enforcement agencies that, look, at this stage, this is what is happening. It is up to enforcement to happen. It is not up to the commission to arrest people.
And it doesn't happen, the enforcement.
But you've seen, why are we in this stage? If we were enforcing the laws as they should be.
Government has suspended issuing new licenses to small-scale miners until further notice to restructure the sector. This is expected to facilitate a plan to identify prospective areas for small-scale mining to maximize the benefits for licensed Ghanaian artisanal miners. A former chief executive of the Chamber of Mines, Joyce I, has lauded government's approach so far as crucial, averting the far-reaching consequences of illegal mining in the society.
Is not only the destruction of land and the destruction of water, serious though those may be, but there are also some very serious social problems. Because money comes into the hands of those who go into the pits and so on, and all those who are involved in it, there is a lot of prostitution in those areas, a lot of communicable diseases spreading. HIV is very high. Then you also have real economic problems because they spend money so readily. So the cost of living in illegal mining areas is very, very high. Very high. And people stop farming. They stop farming, in the hope that they will be employed just to go into a trench or something like that. So we need to address the issues, properly. And I'm glad that this government has really taken the bull by the horns,
What is it doing differently, specifically from...
Specifically, stopping it, and not just stopping it, but also recognizing that there is artisanal and small-scale mining, and that these need to be regulated. You buy your car, but the state says that if you don't license yourself, you can't drive your car. Now, within the small-scale mining, you could have somebody whose license is passed and needs to renew it. That is different. But I don't think that you should legalize illegality. I think that part of the problem for small-scale mining has been that we have given them licenses without actually confirming the mineralization. So they go there and they just dig, trying to dig, trial and error. But I think that people should be given licenses in areas that have been properly prospected and where you've done a lot of work to decide that when I mine here, maybe I'll get 400 ounces of gold, 500,000 ounces of gold. Then the person going to work there knows that I have something, I can actually, a bankable statement, I can go to the bank, assure them that what I have has a mineralization. That's what the big mining companies do. They do a feasibility study on how much mineralization they have because they have done some prospecting and they have done a lot of work. And then they take it to the bank and the bank is willing to give them money. We need to do that. So stopping it for a while so that you clean things is very, very important. For how long? That I cannot tell.
The Chamber of Mines also says government's approach to establish the minerals composition on mining lands before offering them to licensed artisanal miners couldn't have come at a better time. Suleiman Ukoni is the chief executive.
There are various, ideas we have actually put together and even discussed with governments, not this, just this government, but even the previous government. We did a study a number of years ago, and it showed that, look, one of the key challenges we have in the small-scale mining segment has to do with the fact that the extent of mineralization of various parcels of land which are actually given out to them are unknown. And mining is based upon science and and without knowing the extent of mineralization of the land, then the activity becomes quite speculative. So one of the key recommendations is that whoever is responsible, whether it's government or even the operatives themselves, we should start from exploration. In fact, what we have said is that, look, small-scale mining is a smaller version of what the large-scale mining companies do. So mining for us is mining. And if the processes of exploration is where you actually have to start from, so be it. I think that is where we should start from, because once you do exploration, you have some foreknowledge about the extent of mineralization. Immediately, you reduce the risk of the entire business.
Let's shift our attention on the same topic, absolutely, but to the issue of, the response to suggestions for the ban on small-scale mining to be extended to even the licensed artisanal miners. Do you think this is the best interest? This is going to be to the best interest of the nation, or you think?
Have to be careful. I think we have to be careful. If you have licensed a business to run its business and you don't have cause for that particular business to be banned, why do you want to ban it? So a sweeping ban is problematic. I think we have rules and regulations in this country. So you don't want a situation where you have, the operatives who are duly licensed taking government on legally. I think what needs to be done is, like I have said, who are they? Are we really monitoring their activities and actually regulating them the way we should do? And once we do this, I'm sure that they would really come together and do what is expected. But banning it outright, I think, may not be the best for the country, because I know there would be legal ramifications. These are companies who have licenses, duly, signed licenses, given to them by government, and therefore, I think we just have to be careful the way we want to go. Our best bet is to identify the hotspots, clearly illegal activity, mining on water bodies, on public lands. Naturally, we would have to, that's where we have to start from, and just stop them from the activity.
So as government's ultimatum to illegal miners expires at the end of the day, industry watchers will be waiting to see what happens next. Government has meanwhile vowed to make the culprits face the full rigors of the law as it takes a national campaign and fight against illegal mining in collaboration with the media and civil society a notch higher. Well, so can the battle against illegal mining be completely fought? Well, only time will tell.
And that's it for AM Business this morning. Just in case you want to get interactive, please make sure you get in touch with us on Facebook, Join News on TV. And we have our interactive handle on Twitter at Join News on TV. You can also follow us live as we upload a lot more videos and we stream on our channel on YouTube, My Joy Online TV. Please go search for us.
AM Business was brought to you by
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.